All right. All right. Welcome. We're going to be testing the build here, the Unsinkable build with the Bark. My buddy here, Cryptic Gaming 723, is testing his DPS on the Bark. Now, you're probably saying like, "Well, that's not fair. You're not moving." But the point of this exercise was to show you guys how tough this build is when it gets down to 30% health. Now, the big thing about this build is once you get down to 30%, you're gaining, your the opponent will be losing, will only be doing 50% damage to your ship with every shot that they do. And on top of that, with the furniture that you get, you will be healing 1.5% of your health back every second. So that it is big. So point of this build is to actually stay away from the other player. So I wouldn't be staying like that. I would probably brace against stuff like this. But most of the stuff you saw how I braced there. But after that, most of the stuff I am not bracing whatsoever. And you'll see how long it takes for him to take me down. And he can't take me down unless he does crew attack. Now that's why this build you want to stay away from from your opponent. You want to stay far away so that you avoid getting crew attacks made on your ship. But look at this. Even at low health, there's no worries. If the opponent is not close at low health, you have plenty of time if you want to pop a heal. But you don't even have to. The ship just heals itself every second. 1%, 1.5% every second. So we're going to be looking at that and see how long it takes him, but I can tell you, he's not going to sink that ship. I mean, I could be using some heals right now. But anyway, let's look at the build right now. All right, welcome back. So we're going to be talking about the build now. You saw how it did in a battle. We even tested it with. I tested it with 2 to 3 other ships shooting at me at a distance. They couldn't get me down. So what I'm using for weapon on the front, because you want to keep people at a distance. You don't want to let them board you when you're at that low of a health. That's what's going to sink the ship. So the point of the game here in the battle is to keep your enemies at bay. You keep them as far as you can. That is why this build would work as well on the Brigantine. But what I like about the Bark is that it's got a self-heal. All right? So, and it's pretty tanky. It's pretty tanky. So with that said, on the front, I'm using the Twin Winch Ballista for faraway distance. You can use you could use Scarlet long nines as well. If you don't have that weapon, you could use the long nines. I use the long nines actually on the port for when they're at distance. It is good to destroy their cells, their mass, and also to pinpoint their weak spots. Because again, point of the game is to keep them at bay. When they do get close, you have to remember one side is for up close and the other side is for when they're far away. I use the Zama 3. And on the back, it is up to you. I use Dardanelles. You can use Fire Bombards 3. You could use long nines, whatever you want. Just make sure that it is for something for long distance, medium to long distance, so that you don't have to get too close to them and you don't have to try to avoid them embarking on your ship and everything. So that's what's going to sink your ship. So you want to keep them at bay. And for your auxiliary, I'm using the Fleo to keep their stamina down. It's going to keep them moving around. So instead of going straight at you, they're going to try to avoid that Fleo shot. If you don't have that, I would suggest using the Leopold 3. But the Fleo is actually, for PvP, it is really good. It's going to drain their stamina. They're going to be too busy trying to eat. They're going to be busy trying to avoid those shots. They're going to try to heal themselves. So it's going to be really complicated for them to get close to you if you're keeping that Fleo shot active a lot. So for the armor, we're going to be using the Black Prince. Now the reason for the Black Prince, it is the Resolute perk. So it reduces the damage taken by 50% when the halt health is less than 33%. That is huge. That is really big. 50% of damage, less damage, especially when, if they are missing, 75% their shot is going to hit you if they're missing 25% of the time. And on top of that, you have a 50% increase on your reduced damage for your hull health. It's going to be very hard for them to bring you down. Coupled with the furniture, you want to get the rigging station. So that is the one furniture you want to have on this. The rest, it's not so important if you don't have it, but the rigging station, will recover 1% health per second when the halt is less than 20%. So, with that said, you have plenty of time to heal yourself. If you keep the players at bay, you're going to be able to pop those heals. And when you're at low health, don't worry, you get 50% less damage that they're doing on you because of the Black Prince. You're going to be healing yourself for 1% plus the 0.5% from the ship. The ship self heal. You're going to get 1.5% heal back. On the second one, we're going to be using the double plank hull. So it's going to increase your hull health by 5%. So that's a big boost. What I'm using, again, these last three, it's up to you what you want to use. What I do is that I'm using the starboard power keg for an increase of 10%, and the port by 10%. Now again, you could also use, I think there is one for it increases all weapon by 10% or 5%, if you want to use that. I'm not sure where I have that here. Bombard. Anyway, there is one here that I would have to look for it, but increases damage of all guns by 5%. So you basically would free yourself an extra spot, but you're losing 5%. So on the second one, port side, so I have the starboard and the port for the increased 10%. And La Potence schematic for the increase of 10% damage to enemy ships. So in total, when you're shooting, these are two weak points. So if you're hitting weak points, you're going to be getting about a 20% increase to weak points when you're hitting them. So, and that is about it. All right, that is it, guys. Big shout to Cryptic Gaming 73. You can find him on Twitch under Cryptic Gaming 723. Also on YouTube under Banished Souls. Our Discord is Banished Souls as well. So I hope to see you guys all there. Just like and subscribe, and comments are welcome. And we'll see you out there. Bye.